You know that feeling, right? Someone says something or does something, and bam, you feel that sting, that feeling of being personally attacked. It can just totally ruin your day. But what if there was a way to break free from that? Well, today we're going to dive into a really powerful mental model from a talk by Frederick Imbo that might just give you that freedom.
Imagine that, just for a second, hearing someone scream that at you. It's pretty jarring, isn't it? Well, this is the kind of thing football referees hear all the time, and it perfectly captures that raw, personal sting we're talking about. It feels like it's aimed right at the core of who you are.
So, the man who hears this, Frederick Imbo, he actually chose to become a referee for a very specific reason. He wanted to train himself not to take things personally. It's a skill he realized he desperately needed, not just on the field, but in every part of his life. And let's be honest, he is not alone. Does any of this sound familiar to you? You're trying to parallel park, and the person behind you is just laying on the horn? Or maybe you're pouring your heart out to your partner, and they just click on the TV. These little moments can make you feel so small, so disrespected, like you're completely invisible. It's a feeling we all know. Our first reaction almost always is to point the finger. They made me feel this way. It's their fault. But what if that's not the whole picture? What if the real source of our pain isn't what they did, but how we chose to see it? See, when we feel that sting, a very specific part of us is talking. It's our ego. And our ego is that voice in our head that just loves to be validated, hates being criticized, and more than anything else in the world, it wants to be right. And this leads us to a huge, game-changing question. You have to ask yourself, in this moment, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? Because when your ego is driving, you're in this constant, exhausting battle to prove you're right. But choosing happiness, well, that opens up a whole different road. I mean, just look at the difference here. Fighting to be right is a constant struggle that just sucks your energy dry. But choosing to be happy, that leads to freedom. It leads to connection, and it frees up all that energy for stuff that actually matters. So how do we make that choice? Well, the solution comes in a really simple, easy-to-remember metaphor, a two-sided coin. Each side of this coin represents a different strategy you can pull out of your pocket whenever you feel that sting. It's like a practical toolkit for your emotional well-being. Okay, so here they are, plain and simple. Strategy 1 is to realize, hey, this isn't about me. And strategy 2, and this one can feel a little trickier, is to accept that sometimes, yeah, this is about me. Let's start by breaking down that first one. Now, I know what you might be thinking. It's not about me? Are you kidding? It feels completely about me. When you feel personally attacked, your brain is just screaming that you're the target. But this first strategy asks you to just flip that script and look beyond your own feelings for a second. The key here is to shift your focus from your own hurt reaction to the other person's possible intention. So instead of getting stuck in that loop of feeling offended, get curious. Ask yourself one simple question: why might they be doing that? That question alone creates a little bit of space, and in that space you can find understanding instead of just irritation. Just think about it. That person on their phone while you're talking, maybe they're so blown away by what you're saying that they're taking notes. Your kids screaming, "I hate you." They don't actually hate you, they're just super frustrated that bedtime is here. And that impatient driver, they're not attacking you personally, they're probably just late for something really important to them. It's about their world, not yours. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but let's be real, it's hard to do in practice. And why is that? Well, get a load of this number. Your brain produces around 50,000 thoughts every single day. That is an incredible amount of mental noise. And here's the real kicker. Some studies suggest that a whopping 80% of those 50,000 thoughts are negative. Our brains are literally hardwired with a negativity bias. So that's why it takes real conscious effort to look for a positive reason for someone else's behavior. We're basically training a new mental muscle. But, of course, strategy 1 isn't a magic wand. Sometimes it doesn't matter how hard you try to reframe it, a comment just hurts. It slips past all your logical defenses and hits a raw emotional nerve. And that's our cue to flip the coin. This brings us to strategy 2, accepting that sometimes it is about you. Now, this isn't about blaming yourself. Not at all. It's about looking inward to understand why that specific comment had so much power over you. Think about it like this. If I looked you in the eye and said, "You are an orange," you'd probably just laugh. Why? Because there's nothing inside of you that believes, even for a second, that it could be true.
The comment has nothing to hook onto, so it has zero power. We only really get hurt when a comment connects with something we already believe or at least fear is true about ourselves. Maybe it taps into an insecurity you have about your skills, like being a brand new referee, or it highlights a trait you're already sensitive about, like maybe you think you're a clumsy driver. And a lot of the time, that raw nerve is connected to a much deeper wound from our past. So, what do you actually do in those moments? Well, first, just give yourself some empathy. Acknowledge the feeling without judging it. Just say to yourself, ouch, that really hurt. Then, if it feels safe and appropriate, you can speak up, but not with blame, with vulnerability. Saying something like, hey, when you switched on the TV just now, it made me feel like my story wasn't important to you. That invites connection, not a fight. So we have our two strategies, our two sides of the coin. But there's one final, really profound idea that holds all of this together. It's a powerful way to remember your own self-worth, no matter what anybody says or does to you. Let me ask you a question. If I took a 20-euro note and I crumpled it up into a tiny ball, threw it on the ground and stomped on it, would you still want it? Of course you would. But why? The answer is really simple. Because no matter what I do to it, I can crumple it, step on it, even spit on it, its value stays exactly the same. It's still worth 20 euros. What happens to it on the outside has absolutely no effect on its inherent worth. And the exact same thing is true for you. People might criticize you, they might ignore you, they might try to crumple you with their words or walk all over you with their actions, but none of that, not a single bit of it, can actually touch your real intrinsic value. You have to remember this. Whatever happens, whatever anyone does or says, you, just like that 20-euro note, will always keep your value. It is unchanging, it is absolute. The only real question is, will you choose to see it,